Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As ladies and gentlemen, we're going to answer an important question today. And I'm going to tell all of you why XRP must rise in value soon. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, crypto is helping unlock the XRP mystery with this clip. Ever wondered why XRP is affordable? Are banks really utilizing XRP's potential? Is there enough liquidity in the system? Is the era of banks settling with digital assets upon us? David Schwartz answers these questions and more, but I'm going to give my own reasons and then I'll play this clip. Ladies and gentlemen, right now I've been giving you all a November 2023 timeframe where major back-end updates in the technological infrastructure of the financial system with SWIFT, ISO 20022, and a couple other things are all happening at the same time. All while I've been warning about a black swan event on the horizon. Do you think this is an accident? Absolutely not. And then here, the Bank for International Settlements stated cybersecurity for central bank digital currencies. They're having a conference that will address topics including digital transformation for cybersecurity and the threat from quantum computing. And what's actually funny is that earlier I was having a conversation with Crypto Eddie about the dangers of quantum computing and the current state of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to remember that the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab has stated time and time again about the potential of a cyber pandemic. And now, with what's happening in the Middle East, that could act as a major catalyst for why we see a cyber attack, a black swan event, all while in the back end the financial system is receiving massive upgrades. I don't find that to be coincidental at all. I think that the predictive programming has been implemented. And if you have the ability to decipher the lizard talk, you'll be able to easily become the new 1%. Ladies and gentlemen, David Schwartz lets you know why the XRP price has to inevitably rise. And I want you all to take a listen.
So no one is settling on a digital asset at scale today. What's going on at scale today is the messaging part that's able to settle on a digital asset when the liquidity is there. Whether or not what's happening on the digital exchanges right now is there are really only two participants. There's market makers and there's speculators. And that's part of what I think is making the market so unhealthy. The market makers are deathly afraid that speculators are going to see a price go up on one exchange and beat them by a millisecond and sort of, make them take a loss and vice versa. What we're trying to do with XRapid is bring to these crypto exchanges market takers, people looking for liquidity who don't care what crypto prices are doing. The thesis is that if we do that, market makers will make more money because there won't be people trying to force them to take a buy when the price is dropping and vice versa. And they'll respond, if I see you making a lot of money, I'll make just a little bit less money and someone else will make less money still. So we think that bringing in real demand for payments will bring the spreads down and bring the offer volumes up. XRapid will see if we're right about that. But you're absolutely right that there has to be more liquidity. The volatility problem is solved by the speed. The next question is, can we solve the liquidity problem? And I think as XRapid scales up, we'll see whether this just brings more liquidity, or in the negative scenario, do we just use up all the liquidity and then the market just dies? I don't think that'll happen. I think what market makers are looking for is people to take the liquidity.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what we heard there was David Schwartz's explanation for how the XRP price will rise, because right now we're not getting that good money. We're not getting that bank money. A digital asset is not being used at scale yet. But what he did mention is that what is being adopted is messaging. Settlements is what we're waiting for. But Ripple has laid out the perfect infrastructure for XRP to potentially be used. And XRP, in my opinion, is the best positioned digital asset in the world for mass adoption. Guys, this is what I'm going to say. None of you realize how big the SEC case going in our direction is right now, because it's not shown in the price, but the price will come. XRP is a better investment now at 50 cents than it was just 4 months ago at the exact same price. We have our clarity in the United States, and when the bulls return, like I think they will, oh baby. And let's not forget something else. Guys, it's very possible that a Bitcoin ETF is about to get passed, as Cointelegraph may have just broken the news too early, because the crypto Lark Davis posted that Bitcoin ETF filings with the SEC are being amended, which means that dialogue is happening and that we could be getting very close to approvals. And guys, if Bitcoin ETFs start getting approved left and right, expect the most seismic bull run in the history of crypto bull runs, especially for XRP. XRP is a ticking time bomb of wealth waiting to happen. And all of you better recognize what you own. The first major domino to fall had been falling since 2012, when XRP was first birthed. And now we're getting closer to the biggest domino falling. The SEC case going in our direction was one of them. Now we get the price. And that's going to be a special moment for the XRP investor. Now guys, to cap off this video for today, I believe that this Token 2049 conference where Brad Garlinghouse was presenting is extremely important for the major context of what's going on at the future of Ripple, for the future of XRP and beyond. And I can't let you all go on without having watched the entirety of this clip. Please watch all the way through. And the last thing I'm going to say is that, ladies and gentlemen, I have found a hidden gem of a token that is Microsoft's #1 pick for the next crypto bull run. And this crypto is at the best entry point it has ever been in its history. And I highly recommend every single person here find out which token that is. I believe this one will be a profit generator the next cycle. And I think when all of you hear the reasoning behind this token, you'll all agree. I believe the entry point will be short-lived, as it's too cheap now for people not to buy soon. And if you want to find out what token that is, please sign up to my OnlyFans down in the description below. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
We have seen regulatory progress though in other jurisdictions across Asia, Europe, Middle East. Why hasn't that been enough then to spur confidence?
I'll challenge the question, meaning, look, I remember when Bitcoin hit, I don't know, 15 or 16,000. I think today it's 25 or 26,000. Like, there actually, wasn't that long ago that Bitcoin was at 2,000. So I think sometimes it's just, you got to zoom out a little bit further. And when I hear say, why hasn't it spurred confidence? Look, Ripple's growing. I mean, we're not growing in the United States. We're growing outside the United States. And so it's because I think there have been leaders who are progressive and thoughtful about where the world is going, for a lot of the reasons why Hong and Mike have already articulated, the benefits of blockchain and crypto technologies. So I think I don't look at it and think, oh, the market's really suffering. I think, sure, it's nicer when, Bitcoin was at 60,000, but I just think we should zoom out a little bit and be like, wow, this industry has come a long way. There are 10,000 plus people here for token 2049. I'm guessing by the time Dubai comes around for next year's event, there's going to be more people. But I remain very optimistic about the direction of travel, in part because of the court system, in part because other jurisdictions are providing that clarity. And even these are major economies. The UK is totally leaning into crypto. They're making sure there's consumer protections, but as Mike just said, the only country I would not encourage people to start a company in right now is the U.S. There's probably some others, but the U.S. is a big one to call out. And I think, again, you're seeing a momentum shift. I think that it used to be, a lot of judges were like, well, the SEC is always right, and they weren't fighting that. And I think you're starting to see that the tenor change. Even the Coinbase case, I'm sure people are paying attention. Some of the questions from the judge in the Coinbase case are downright hostile, towards the SEC. So look, the frustrating thing, and I kind of alluded to this earlier, the SEC has an unlimited budget. You're literally fighting the man.
Sometimes things.
They can go and go and go, and they can keep appealing. But as Hong was saying, the judicial process in the United States, while sometimes slow, sometimes frustrating, it's actually working. And I think you have seen, to your initial question, I think the tide is turning, and I think the roadmap for how other companies can go after the SEC, they're following some of the exact same things Ripple did, and I think that's great for the whole industry.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be a tumultuous time, and it certainly is. So I share Brad's optimism about, it's actually a lot better than you think. It's just that the U.S. is right now the third rail of crypto regulation.
The one thing maybe I'll say, which to add a bit of controversy to this, I still think there is an underlying segment of the crypto world that is so anti-regulation and all about anonymity. In my judgment, if we want this industry to thrive and achieve, I think, what it can to fundamentally rewire how financial infrastructure works, we can't pretend that government regulation doesn't matter. And I still think, I think frankly one of the problems in the United States is you have, even within the industry, infighting, right? You've got these various lobbying organizations in the United States, in Washington, D.C., with lots of members from the crypto community, and they all don't agree. And so, I've been to Capitol Hill, I'm sure maybe both of you have as well. You go to a senator or a representative's office, and there have been two other crypto people in there earlier in the day saying different things than what I'm saying. And there's some basic things I feel like we have to agree. If we want that progress, we have to agree on some basic things. And I think, I still do find categories of the crypto community fighting some of these basic regulatory frameworks. AML is going to matter. KYC is going to matter. And if you're taking the point of view that we're going to circumvent those things, that's not the industry I see out 5 and 10 years from now that really is thriving and growing. Because I think that just gives fuel to the fire for politicians who do like to, just make noise, and they don't understand, what's going on in crypto or what brought down FTX. Look, the thing I get excited about, and I imagine there's a lot of entrepreneurs out here building in the crypto space, is I don't think about that at a static point in time, right? If you were looking at that just today, and even to your core question that was kind of directed at Hong around OKX, if Hong Kong only allows a certain number of tokens to be traded, that's limiting. I would bet that, well, I don't know what Hong thinks. What I think is that's a starting point. And yes, maybe for the next year or two, it's a small list, and then after that, it'll be wider, and it won't just be to 7 or 8 million people in Hong Kong. It turns out there's a few, more than 1 billion in that broader community. And look, you're betting on where the world is going to be. I fundamentally believe that where crypto is headed, where blockchain is headed, for a lot of macro factors, the wind is at our back. And if we just look at profitability today, yeah, it's a lot harder to have a profitable business with less liquidity today, prices where they are. That's harder. But if you look at where I think the world is going to be a little bit further out, I'm very excited about what that looks like. Call me the optimist, call me naive, call me all those things, but I've been more right than I've been wrong. I mean, Ripple's in a very good position, so I feel good about that bet. And we're going to continue to invest and hire more people and acquire more companies because I believe about where the world is going.